suggest that aspiring leaders should position themselves in the employee experience space?
I think one is actually just appreciating or acknowledging the employee journey as a critical part of this, workspace. I'm struggling with the words because I find that we prioritize a lot, and when I say we as practitioners, organizations, is it's always about revenue generation. What gets the organization ticking? Of course, at the core of every organization, it's what is this organization about? So if you make widgets, if you produce policies, whatever, that's critical, because then everybody needs to then gather around to contribute to make that happen, no doubt. But I think acknowledging that it is employees who make that happen. And for me, for aspiring leaders in this space, is then to then take the time and meaningfully have an empathetic approach, So it's also for me triggers that empathy of put myself in the shoes of the employees, understand the employee journey from start to finish. And I think it's empathy in the broad sense of being able to get feedback, co-create ways that actually help to facilitate the employee experience and the journey. And I think for leaders to listen, use the feedback, and quickly action it and apply it and try it in terms of being able to get better results, making sure that you have the base levels of contribution from employees, because you've actually aligned your employee value proposition to their day-to-day reality.
Okay, cool. And if you could look back at everything we've discussed, and you could take one thing that listeners should take away from this interview and implement in their leadership today, what would that one thing be? And I know it's a tough question.
Yeah, it is tough. I think maybe for me, feedback, and I'm gonna load it. So I'm being sneaky, loading other things. So the one thing is feedback, but or feedback linked to, honesty, authenticity. For me, I always say I believe in the gift of feedback. It sounds cheesy, but feedback really works also two ways. It enables you as a leader to be able to then reflect, and if needed, modify, implement things that will help, in this leadership journey. I think feedback to people who need to hear it. Sometimes we're not honest enough with people. And even if it's not, good news or it's hard, constructive feedback, it's very liberating, because it allows then the people on the other side to make honest decisions as well, once they have a true sense of the reality of where they sit with their organization, with their leaders. It's also an opportunity for improvement. So it doesn't necessarily also mean also a terrible ending. But even if there is an ending, so the other, I believe in the gift of feedback. I also believe in the gift of goodbye, which sounds terrible, but it really, you can liberate people by being honest with them. Because, and also I always say it also impacts performance management, because as much as you want to retain your high performers, when you're honest with people who are underperforming, either they improve or maybe they can make other decisions, but then you also don't take away from the energy of the people who are doing their best. Because you've been honest about the underperformance, and that fuels more high performance, and I think real sense of my contribution means something when there's feedback and there's honesty in the system. I know that was not a short answer, sorry.
No, it was great, and I must be honest. I wrote it down, but I do love that, because honest feedback is a gift. It really is. And it allows, as you say, it allows everybody to be able to go on the journey and the path that's right for them. And you can only do that once you reach a spot. And I mean, even as you say, the gift of goodbye. You know, if something isn't working for somebody, it's also wrong to keep them in a place where they're not fulfilling a purpose that speaks to them and is going to give them their own energy and their own purpose. You know, maybe that's just not where they're meant to be at that time, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's actually also nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. So tell me, how can our listeners connect with you? What is your favorite platform? Is it on LinkedIn? What's best for you?
Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn is a favorite, especially I would say recently, the last couple of years, really love connecting on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I found it to be, I'd say, the best platform for me. I mean, I'm also like on Twitter and other social platforms, but LinkedIn definitely. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your time today. I really loved that, and I loved the gift of feedback. That's on my list for my favorite takeaway. But thank you so much for your time today and during this chaotic week. I really appreciate you giving us the time on the future of employee experience, and I look forward to chatting to you again.
Thank you so much, Sally. Really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for taking the time in all of this chaos. Yeah.